What's up, everyone? So we're just gonna see if this trade hits. We are targeting a quick trade to the lows of 19,477.50. We traded into this bullish area here, down here, all the way to the lows of this bearish order block, and then we pushed higher a little bit. And we have the second candle that obviously pushed all the way here, which was this candle. At 8:30 we had news that pushed higher, and then we traded under this bullish fair value gap here. So I utilized that as resistance to go lower. I want to see if it'll respect this area and this bearish level now and push price lower to possibly the lows that it created within this bullish candle here. I could be wrong and we could get stopped out as well, but I would like to see support within this area or resistance within this area for lower prices. The reason being is we have a bearish level that was already traded through, and it was possibly used as support at one point here already, like for example here. So it was used as resistance here now. I also have this bullish level here that I wanted to see resistance to push lower, which we did in the first few seconds, but it seems that price wants to push higher, so I could get stopped out here. But let's see, my stop loss is at those highs. I would like to see price respect inside of that zone if it is to go lower. If not, then I made the wrong choice and we might get stopped out here. Let's see. Just the fact that I traded back into that zone, I think we might get stopped. I should have realized that like this would have just been a quick use of this zone, and then they would probably come back into that area. Especially because they already tapped this order block here and found some support, and the price wanted to close above 50% of this area here, as you guys can see right here. So I might get stopped out here. Part of me wants to close the trade early, but sometimes you never know. We have two areas. So we have the bullish level, 50%, which held here, but we have these relative lows. Or we have this bearish level here that already got traded through. So I think the fact that it already got traded through tells us that it was the bearish level was disrespected, and they're probably trying to push price higher. So we might get stopped out, and we'll see what happens here. I might even close this trade already, honestly. I don't know. I'm debating it. I feel like it's probably going to use this bullish level of support now for higher prices if it wants to target those highs instead. We do have equal lows here, which is why I entered. We have a volume imbalance here. We have a bullish fair value gap here, right there. This is a volume imbalance right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shift my stop loss lower now for less risk. Now it's at 70 points. 68 points, I apologize. So far so good. I mean, if it came down here, there's a possible chance we might pop back up into this area, especially because there's another volume imbalance. And then maybe push lower into the lows, the equal lows down here. There you go. Let's see if it respects that volume imbalance and goes lower, or if it's gonna try to go higher now. It could still stop us out, guys. But ideally, I want to see if it respects that level here to go lower. This already shows me we might get stopped out. I don't know. It was very strong the way that it came into that area, but if it trades into the fair value gap here and respects it, we should still be good in this trade. It all depends, guys. It all depends. I am targeting the lows that it created here after tapping this bullish order block. And the reason being is because I think maybe price wants to go lower. We have this 4-hour bearish level that, as you guys can see, we have a lot of equal highs. And price just doesn't seem to want to get above 50% of that area. We have a lot of New York AM lows from yesterday that they might be targeting. So that was what I was using to enter this trade idea. As you guys can see, that's the 1 hour that we were looking at. So what I'm going to do now is shift my stop loss a little lower again to the highs here. We're now risking 54 points. We just took out those lows that I mentioned right here. Stop loss is at break even now for protection. Ideally, I want to see price trade inside of this bullish fair value gap, not any higher, and then continue to trade lower. We'll also add the middle line here so that we can see it. But ideally, I want to see price trade lower quickly because I feel like a lot of people will be buying here, especially after the 830 push up that we had as manipulation inside of this bearish level. We could get stopped. I did trail my stop loss to break even. There's always a chance that market wants to fill in the imbalance that we have here, which would be this one right there. So we have an imbalance in this area that could get filled. Ideally, I want a quick tap to this area, maybe to even the 50% and then push lower, which is right there. And what's preferred for me is for it to stay within this bullish level and not trade higher and push lower quickly. Okay, so far so good. We have that volume imbalance here. We will shift stop loss up here because if it doesn't want to, come higher, at least we got some money from this trade. Ideally, I want to see price push lower from here now. We're inside of this bullish BISI 50%. That's what this is. And as you guys can see, we tap it and immediately reject from it because we already used it as support here. And now we're using it as resistance here. And we're inside that volume imbalance. Let's see if we trade through it and then use it as resistance for lower prices. But we could also find support here and price could push higher. So I shifted my stop loss higher a bit. Lower a bit. My stop loss lower a bit just in case we find support and it pushes higher, which we might get stopped out here. And there it is. So we did find support within this bullish level, but we ended up catching 78 points in this trade, which is a 1.4 risk to reward. If I had just taken profit here at the lows, would have been a 2.6 risk to reward. And there's still a chance that this goes lower and continues lower. I just protected my trade here. I think maybe we should have left our stop loss at 50% of this bearish level. As you guys can see, price is still going, but I'm happy with my trade. We didn't take a loss. We made $370, and we'll see if we can get another trade or later today at around 9:30. I don't know yet if I'm gonna be trading around that time. I have an appointment at 10, but this was my quick trade for the day, just so we had a little practice, a little something. I'm gonna let it record for the last 9 minutes we have for this recording, just so we can see where the trade ends up panning out. If it does hold here, this is also midnight open. This orange line here, I'll show you guys. Midnight open, okay? So this is 12 a.m. Asian session. We just traded below it, so there is a chance that price wants to go higher now. And that's exactly why I was shifting my stop loss lower, because usually price will find support near these areas and then push higher. So there's a chance we see price pushing higher here, and if it does, maybe we can utilize this zone here for higher prices like this. The only thing is, I don't know if I'm gonna enter. A lot of people will be selling here, and price is gonna completely do the opposite, because they're thinking that, oh, okay, we had this bearish level, price is gonna sell here again because we didn't trade to the lows here. You're wrong. Price is gonna go higher because we traded under 12 a.m. lows. We are inside of this bullish level here. We took out sell side liquidity, which was these two lows here, quickly, and now price is gonna reverse. We also have this to keep in mind. This is a bearish SIBI that we created highs to here, right? This is the highs that we had, equal highs. And price quickly came and traded above it. So now this got disrespected, and this turns into an inverse fair value gap. And what do you guys see right here? Look at this. 50% push higher. So I don't think we're going to get any retests lower. As soon as price came to this 50%, with this candle open traded lower, this would have been the entry to push higher, and we would target the highs here. I'm not gonna enter. I'm feeling a little like nervous to enter. I don't know. After I have big days where I get a really good trade, I feel like I get really in my head about being a perfectionist with my trades, and then that's when I mess up. So I am gonna be a little bit more careful when entering. I really want to see a lot of confirmations before entering, but I do think this is gonna go higher. We're most likely targeting these highs now. And I'm just kind of like working through my emotions, because if we trade with too much emotion, that's when you can hurt yourself and you can make the wrong decisions with your trading. So sometimes when I'm feeling some type of way, when I notice myself being afraid to take risks, I would rather sit patiently and wait for me to get more confirmations as to where price wants to go, because now we're between the bearish level and the bullish level. So we have to wait to see if it's gonna break above or below either of these two for us to have more confirmation on the direction of this trade. Okay? Because once we trade above these highs, there's a very likely chance that we'll trade back below it, tap this 50%, and then go higher and take the highs that are created after taking the current highs. So let's see what happens. We're back inside of this area. A lot of people are going to look at this and be like, okay, we're back inside of the zone. This tapped near the fair value gap, went lower. And I could still be wrong, and it could tap the fair value gap once more, be like a manipulation to fill in this volume imbalance. But I do think they kind of already did that here with this candle. So I don't think that that's what they're doing. But like I said, let's see, So as you guys can see, we have the volume imbalance that got tapped into again. We traded into this area here. I'm really thinking of entering here. Let me just see what kind of candle action we get at this area. I think it is going to push higher, but I don't know. I want to enter, but I'm a little hesitant right now. I think that patience is better. It's 9:55 right now. And we have literally 35 minutes till 9:30 open. So sometimes it's better for you to wait till 9:30 open before you enter your trade, because you want to let that manipulation happen with all the volatility of the market coming in all at once when the market opens at 9:30. I do think it's going to go higher, but I don't know. I'm not 100%, not feeling too great on entering yet. I'm feeling too many emotions, so we're just going to sit tight and watch to grow our confidence. If we're right, then that's going to make me feel good, and maybe we'll find something else. I do think it will go higher. It's looking good so far. And there you go, guys. So this would have been a 2.7 risk to reward. Obviously, keeping the stop loss at the inverse fair value gap lows, with the idea that price doesn't really want to come lower below that. And these are the highs you target. You could do 3 contracts and just scale them out as you trade higher, because that would reduce your risk as you trade. You would pretty much equally separate the risk into each contract. Well, I'm gonna turn off my microphone now just to let this run. If it goes lower from here, I don't care, because I'm not in the trade. But let's just watch price and see what price does.